Eternal cycle. In his final moments on earth, Marcus closed his eyes with a sense of peace. He had lived a full life, had loved, lost, triumphed, and failed in all the ways that made life so rich. He breathed his last breath, and the world around him faded to darkness. But that darkness didn't last. Marcus woke to the cries of a newborn. His consciousness stirred, and he immediately realized that he was no longer the man he had been. He was an infant again, but his mind held all the memories of his previous life. Not just this one life, countless lives, lives of adventure, simplicity, magic, and mystery. Lives in bustling cities where technology rules, and lives in ancient villages where magic shaped the world. Each reincarnation gifted him with more knowledge, more skill, and more understanding of the universe. This new world, it seemed, had its own set of rules. The air felt thick with magic, and as he grew, Marcus noticed that this life held powers that he had seen before in other worlds. Magic was familiar to him, yet each world had its own interpretation of it. In some lives, magic was drawn from the earth itself, in others from ancient books or rituals. Here, in this world, it seemed to be tied to the emotions and wills of its people. By the age of 10, Marcus was already mastering the local magic with ease, using his countless lifetimes of knowledge to accelerate his learning. His teachers were astonished at his natural ability, but Marcus knew better. It wasn't natural talent, it was the weight of 1,000 lifetimes spent learning the intricacies of worlds much like this one. In one life, he had been a swordsman without magic, relying solely on his skill and strength. In another, he was a scholar in a technologically advanced city. In yet another, a humble farmer. Each life had its trials and challenges, but Marcus embraced them all, knowing they were but steps in an unending journey. He lived, died, and was reborn again. This time he found himself in a world with no magic at all. Just tall buildings, loud streets, and technology that seemed to leap forward every year. His memories served him well. He became an inventor, creating things far beyond what the people of this world could comprehend. Every achievement felt hollow, though. This was the burden of immortality, of living life after life, always starting again, always watching those around him age and die while he moved on. In another life, Marcus found himself born into a nomadic tribe, living beneath the open skies. He was content there for a time, wandering the world on horseback, learning the stars and the stories they told. This life was peaceful, and he cherished it. But in time, death came for him again, as it always did. The cycle continued. Each new world was different, with its own set of rules and challenges. Some were harsh, others kind, but Marcus carried with him the knowledge of every life he had ever lived. He found himself growing more skilled, more patient, more wise with each reincarnation. But he also found something else, an ache, an emptiness. Though he had all the knowledge and power one would desire, he began to long for something more, for a purpose beyond simply living and dying. What was the reason for this endless cycle? Why had he been chosen to carry this burden? As Marcus stood on a mountaintop in a world where gods walked among men, he looked to the horizon, wondering if the answer lay beyond the next life, or if perhaps it had been with him all along.